Now, back in 2018, medicinal cannabis was legalised throughout the UK after the government took note of how beneficial the drug was for children suffering with severe epilepsy. Over 16,000 patients are currently receiving prescriptions for conditions such as cancer, chronic pain and anxiety. But according to a recent survey, it seems the British public are unaware of the drug's availability. Additionally, more than 80% of respondents still believe there is a negative stigma surrounding cannabis. My next guest was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma and has been using medicinal cannabis to help change her life. So let's talk to her now. I'm joined in the studio by an expert in the field, John Robson, and medicinal cannabis user for cancer, Savannah King. So welcome both of you. Good to have you here today. Thank you for joining us. So, John, just give me an idiot's guide as what medicinal cannabis is and how does it differ to the illegal cannabis?
Sure. So as you already alluded to, in 2018 the law was changed, rescheduling cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 2 for medicinal purposes. Effectively what that meant is the UK government is recognising that it does have therapeutic benefits, and if prescribed by a doctor who is listed on the specialist register of the General Medical Council, would be deemed fit as a legal prescription.
Right, OK. And Savannah, you're here as living proof that this actually works. Can you tell us a bit about your story and how it's helped you?
Yeah, so in 2018 I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a blood cancer. And during that time, I was on 6 months of chemo. I'm in remission now. I have been since the end of 2018.
Oh, well done. Congratulations.
Yeah. So although that led to other problems, I had to have a hip replacement this year in response to the strong chemo I was on. So medical marijuana has definitely helped me during that time. Obviously, this year I was aware of Mama-Deca and what the service can provide. But back in 2018, I was just sourcing my medicine elsewhere. And yeah, it did provide me with the relief I needed and helped me to shift perspective into a way that I was comfortable with and in a way that, you know, I wasn't going to drugs that wouldn't have provided me the relief I needed.
So, and you were obviously in a lot of pain. I mean, do you mind me asking how old you are to have a hip replacement?
I'm 26.
You're only 26, so that's an awful lot of pain and uncomfortableness. So were you aware that medical cannabis was available? Or when you say you were sourcing things elsewhere, I mean, so you were, like most of us, not even aware that you could do this and how to do it?
Exactly. Like, I was only made aware of Mama-Deca through friends of friends, and that's how I'm able to now use the service. But before that, I was... Yeah, my brother-in-law was sourcing it from the illicit market and, you know, it did its job, but now I have confidence in this product that it's medically checked and everything and, you know, it just gives me that confidence that it's legitimate medicine.
And safe, obviously. I mean, so, John, why aren't people more aware that this is available to them?
Well, to be honest with you, I think two of the main reasons why people aren't more aware that there is a regulated pathway has purely been in that the product, in terms of quality and price, hasn't been as good as the illicit market. And clearly, we shouldn't really be drawing comparisons with the regulated and illicit market because they're completely different things.
Of course, but I mean, for most of us out here, that's the way you think straight
absolutely.
away.
Inevitably, there are millions of people in this country who are currently going to the illicit market, like Savannah was, and are unaware that this is available. And I think the reason, as I said, because the quality and the price of the product wasn't comparable. Since we've started doing that, certainly the number of products coming onto the markets, the variety of products is increasing. As the patient numbers have increased, the price of the cost to the patient has reduced. And we're now starting to have patients actually talk about the service more because they're able to actually stand behind the medication they're receiving.
And so, I mean, just reading here, 81% of us still feel there is a negative stigma around cannabis and even the medical cannabis.
Absolutely. I mean, look, this is purely within the UK. If you look at North America, Israel, Australia, Germany, which is obviously a bit closer to home, we've seen Germany increase their patient numbers from 20,000 2 years ago, which is slightly behind where we are at the moment in the UK, to 160,000 patients as of last month. And they've just voted to go for full legalisation, which will mean that probably around 2024 they will have full adult recreational sales. So undoubtedly, probably the UK will be a couple of years behind that.
If you are in Savannah's situation and you want to get medical, do you have to go to your doctor to get it, or can you buy it in a high street like a chemist or something like that?
So there's two ways a patient could access our service. One, a doctor could make a referral to us, i.e. a GP, an NHS doctor or a private doctor. That at this stage is quite unlikely because people, as you quite rightly said, still have this stigma about medical cannabis or cannabis itself. The other way, which is the most common, is that a patient would self-refer to our service. So they would come to our website, they would fill out a 2-page eligibility form, and providing they had tried 2 previous forms of medications or treatment and they had no previous tendencies of mental health or schizophrenia, they would qualify for the service.
I was going to say, is there a downside? You know, even with medical cannabis, is there a downside for people that, as you say, may have a mental health issue?
Look, we have a duty of care that we have to provide to our patients. Ultimately, we're a healthcare service. The reason why the government is currently legislating that specialist doctors can only prescribe that is because we are giving that expert initial evaluation and their aftercare. So the CQC, the Care Quality Commission, who is the regulator, stipulates that the patient must have an initial consultation with a specialist doctor with a follow-up 1 month after. In the first year, you must have a follow-up quarterly and thereafter annually.
Right.
So we do have some stipulation as to, in terms of keeping track of how the medication is benefiting or not benefiting the patient, as the case may be.
And Savannah, you're an example, albeit obviously working. I mean, did you have any issues with any other side effects or anything?
No, not really. I think it also depends on the individual who's taking it, what their situation is, and everything, you know, in moderation can be effective. And like John said, they're very regulative. They regulate what you're getting and everything, and they make sure not to overprescribe you and make sure to keep it within limitations. So, is it addiction? That's just...
So you don't build up dependency?
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, again, it's down to the individual. They'll assess you.
And what difference has it made to your life?
It's helped me shift my perspective in dark thoughts, and it eases pain from my muscles. And when I went through the replacement, I was on morphine and cocodamol, and it was really strong, and I would not react well to it. And plant medicine, just I connect better with that, and it works better for me, and it helped me pain relief. So for me,
what would you say to any other young women who are sort of watching this now, going, I really need to get some, to get some help with my pain?
Yeah.
What advice would you give to them?
I would say that it's definitely worth trying, and if it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you, but at least you can now have access to trying that and seeing if it works for you, because I know there's been research to prove that it does benefit a lot of health issues.
And John, what sort of people do you have coming to you? Is it all age groups? Is it all sorts of conditions?
Really, we have a whole different range of people that come to us. We've got professionals, we've got people who've been suffering from chronic conditions for many years, tried multiple different types of medication, and are really coming to us as a last resort. Or, alternatively, we have people that have not tried alternative medication. They clearly have conditions that they've been going to the illicit market for, and clearly will need to go to a doctor to potentially get a note or to be prescribed something so that they can actually then come and utilise our service. So I would say it's a really big range. I wouldn't say that it was any particular sex or any particular age demographic, but generally speaking, I would say, the biggest demographic, probably 35 to 55 at the moment, I would say.
And thank you. And just quickly, how can people get in touch with you if they feel like they need help?
Well, one of two ways. Number one, they can obviously go to our website, www.marmedica.com. As I said, there's a 2-page eligibility form. Once you fill out that 2-page eligibility form, you'll be able to make an appointment for 14 days' time, which allows you enough time to upload your ID, to get your summary care record from your GP, upload it, and to fill out a further evaluation, which really gives us that insight to be able to deliver that high quality consultation, as opposed to trying to actually collate the information during the consultation, which is obviously a waste of time for the patient. The other way would be obviously to contact us by telephone, where we have a tremendous medical support team, which is on hand to answer any questions or queries that any patient potentially may have. We obviously appreciate that this may be something which is completely alien to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So we're getting a lot of cannabis experience users, but we are also getting a lot of people, probably 50-50, I would say, who have never had any exposure to cannabis before. And clearly with those people, if they haven't inhaled cannabis in any format previously, we wouldn't be prescribing flower or a vape cartridge for them to inhale. They would be prescribed something, maybe a suppository, which is a solid fill or a soft gel capsule, alternatively sublingual, so a drop which you hold drop under your tongue, and that has high efficacy because it goes straight into your bloodstream. So it really depends. Like, we aren't prescribing everyone cannabis flower.
It depends.
Obviously, 60 to 70% of the prescriptions we write are for cannabis flower, but we do prescribe in other delivery methods too, and there will be other innovative ways to deliver this type of medication.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, and good luck, Savannah. Thank you for joining us. And thank you very much, John, for making it so clear to us all.